plus related counts such as aggravated vehicular homicide and felonious assault. The state argued the driving was deliberate, not accidental. Sharilla was convicted and sentenced to an indefinite term, reported as 15 years to life in the trial court. Because the crime occurred while she was a juvenile, the court's approach to parole eligibility and minimum terms is driven by Ohio sentencing law and case rulings on juvenile offenders. The conviction also carries collateral consequences: fines, restitution, and driver's license sanctions tied to motor vehicle use in a homicide.
Wow, this is so hard. I'm so sorry. He has a good family, and we don't condone what happened, and
The brutal Florida case that stunned the nation. 14-year-old Aiden Fucci and 13-year-old Tristan Bailey walked together into woods near their neighborhood. 90 minutes later, only one walked out. Tristan's body was found with 114 stab wounds, many defensive. An attack so frenzied it broke the idea that kids' violence is always less than adult in its cruelty. Surveillance and investigators pieced together the timeline. Fucci, then 14, was arrested and later pleaded guilty to first-degree murder. In court, he gave a brief apology. The sentence handed down was life in prison, with an eventual review because juvenile sentencing law limits mandatory life without parole for minors. The silence in the court when the sentence was read was deafening. When juveniles commit the most serious crimes, courts must balance public safety with the constitutional protections that recognize youth's greater capacity for change. The U.S. Supreme Court has repeatedly required individualized consideration for juvenile offenders. See Miller v. Alabama, which affects how life sentences are imposed or reviewed for minors. The legal framework is Florida Statute Section 782.04, murder, which defines first-degree murder and the elements prosecutors must prove. For juvenile sentencing, the state follows statutory rules that set juvenile sentencing ranges for first-degree murder. Juvenile offenders may be sentenced to life, but are often eligible for review after a statutory period. Florida law provides direction for juvenile sentencing and review procedures. In Fucci's case, Florida law limited certain penalties because he was under 18 at the time of the offense. Fucci's guilty plea and the prosecution's evidence established first-degree murder, premeditated or deliberate killing under Florida statutes. The grotesque nature, 114 stab wounds, multiple defensive wounds, strengthened the state's case for the highest penalties available to juvenile offenders. Like and follow for more parts and updates at Red Tape Red Flag.